What is up, everyone? I'm here again with my good friend Dim. Good to see you, brother. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Super happy to be there.
Dude, I feel like it was just the other day when we were in in Vegas at the Azuki event, and now, we were like heavily anticipating the launch of the Forge and all of the excitement that comes for our heavy metals. It's been a grind. How are you handling the Forge?
Well, it's pretty odd. I started basically on a couple of them to start, doing some cosmetics. And then I was like, what the fuck am I doing? It's going to take forever to basically have energy. So now I just have like one that I'm doing like random stuff around, but the other like are like very lean. I'm trying to get as much energy as I can before season 4. But yeah, I constantly have like 10 tabs open on Chrome, so it's it's not that easy.
Yeah, I know the pain, especially after like a maintenance update, and it's like trying to cycle through a
Yeah.
gazillion tabs to get them back online. Like it's it's a struggle sometimes. But I'm actually surprised that my computer is recording all of this right now because I have my heavies running in the background. So I'm surprised it's not bogging it down. Um, so you said you've got one that's going for like pure energy, like efficiency build. Have you seen all of the stuff that Spencer talked about with building batteries? Do you have any thoughts around where we're going for this dungeon crawler, or any kind of expectations so far?
Well, my expectation is basically that energy will play a huge role on it, and I could see like the more energy you have, the more time that you have in these dungeons. I don't know, maybe it will be like you have like levels on it, level one, -1, -2, and then you need to go just deeper and deeper, or could be anything. But my guess is that time you will buy time with energy or um, power or something like that. Maybe like it will be your else. And so yeah, I can see power playing a huge role on it. For sure, cosmetics won't. I think at the moment, the only benefit of cosmetics is if you believe that random people will see your forge and say, "Oh, that's a beautiful forge. I should vote for this one." But unfortunately, that's not how it works.
Yeah, I've only placed a handful of objects. I haven't quite gotten into the creative aspect of Forge yet, but I feel like my time will come once my energy is maxed out, and I'm just chilling, waiting for, well, hopefully I'll be waiting for the dungeon crawler, the rift to open, and all of that stuff. I'm not sure if I'll make it before the end of season 3 for all of the energy build that I'm trying to go for, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, do you have a particular heavy that that's your favorite? I feel like the more I look at these, the art just sticks out more and more. Like how incredible some of these heavies are. Like especially the bios. There's some that are just completely mind blowing.
I like the organic feel of the bio, so that's why I wanted one of each. So basically, I have, of course, except the legendary one, but I do have one of each. I'm putting a lot of votes on the main, what I call the main one, which is the holo. But my favorite is the river because the colors. It's like matching me. It's like black and red, and they are just so dope. But I managed to get epic on the holo, and on the other one, just no, it's not gonna be good rankings.
So you got one epic on your hollow, and then are you
I still
getting rares or uncommons on the others, or what are you going for there?
rares maybe on a couple, but then it will be just uncommon. And I will see. Maybe I will buy some hems on secondary, but it wasn't possible for me to get. Even to actually which is what's the highest after epic? It's not legend, right? It's
No, I think it's legendary, epic, rare, uncommon, and common.
yeah, legendary basically was super hard. I tried on season 1 for the holo, but I was always short every day. So in the end, I ended up with yeah, with the epic one. but it's kind of hard. I should pay more attention to the number of votes every day because I feel that I'm wasting a lot of them. Like I'm getting much more votes that I would need on some of them, and I'm not spending all the energy I have on votes. But pretty much, yeah, I'm very looking forward to season 4. That's for sure.
I know. So what do we have? We have the end of this. It's 6 more days until season 2 closes, and then we have 3 more weeks after that. So,
Oh boy,
yikes! Yeah, we got another 20 something days left, and
but the green never stops. It's overwhelming at some point. The problem is that you can just close your laptop. It needs to run all the time if you want the upgrades to to continue. So this is to me the major issue because when I will be traveling in the upcoming weeks and it's going to be a pain. So I will just be able to just check the floors maybe an hour a day or something. But I might. I'm not sure yet, but I might play from a server. So we'll see. I have a friend who actually did that. So all his Forge are on the server, open on the server. They're running 24/7, and he just
then just remotes in.
yeah, exactly. So I'm
Hmm.
considering doing the same. But I saw, I think it was Ben who mentioned that the tech team is looking into a way to actually allow upgrades in the background.
Yeah, that
Like,
would be a very welcomed change. Just because, just because it is like, yeah, you're definitely keeping your machine running 24/7. My laptop only took a brief break when I was traveling the other day. So I closed the laptop down. All the heavies, just went to sleep for a little bit, I guess. And we got to the other side without all the energy that I was hoping for. But, yeah, it's definitely a struggle. I'm excited to see where we go from here. Um, I like that. Yeah, there's a lot of aspects of heavy metals that I really enjoy. I think the ability to build them through the different seasons, or the different activations that we have, the different mini games, it makes a lot of sense. I think it's really unique. And then there's other aspects where it's like, gosh darn it, I'm getting a little tired of grinding on these votes every day, but like having some systems set up to swap votes with people definitely helps. And you know, it's just
that's for sure.
managing the leaderboard positions at that point, which is just it's like a little tedious task that's always on your mind, at least until the forge is over.
Indeed, indeed.
So
But yeah, I try to see the ratio between the votes and the hack and slash for the leaderboard. So I would love to get rid of votes entirely because this is the part that to me is the less fun. It
mm-hmm.
just became it's too transactional. There is literally no fun into the voting system. There is, as I said, no one is going to be like, oh, you have a beautiful forge, I'm going to vote for you. No, people are selling votes. It's highly transactional. So to me, it doesn't bring this kind of big gameplay cooperation side of it that would be great.
Yeah, I agree there. I feel like well, yes, Forge will be sunset, and then we'll have other things on our mind like Legends of the Mara. And my hope is those are much more collaborative in the sense that, you're getting with people to combine your forces of your Kodas or your Kodamaras or your partnership PFPs, bringing everybody together to help fight the Shattered, and all of that, whatever that entails for us down the road. But I think if we can get to a place where it's more of like coordinating people to, fight these monsters coming through, and whatever, more so than like, hey, like I just need something from you, and I'll give you something in return. More of like a let's work together kind of vibe is going to be hopefully a little more interesting. I mean, to be fair though, the vote system on Forge 100% got people within the community talking. And I'm sure if you go and you look at their Discord metrics, it's probably off
Yeah,
the chart, right? Like the amount of,
sure.
they probably had like a certain amount of messages within their Discord daily, and then they opened up the vote for vote stuff, and it just freaking skyrocketed. Absolute, parabolic run. But yeah, I'm gonna be ready for the grind to be over. That is for sure. Um, so on the topic of heavy metal, or well, I guess not really heavy metal, something that we thought was once supposed to be heavy metal was the Inway game. There was the
Yes.
mechs, the little robots in there. There was like the squid looking thing, which people were like, oh, that's a companion. It had all the ingredients pointing towards, yo, this this Inway game is likely at the end of the tunnel for the evolutions of the heavy metals. And so it's kind of refreshing, I guess, or not refreshing, but it's kind of nice to know that there's actually something else out there
Yeah,
apart from the Inway game. Like it's almost like, oh wait, cool. So Inway released, it's not related to heavy metal, but we still know that there's a bigger event or activation or whatever it is, the game that's going to stay present for heavy metals. I'm assuming this is the arena. We still know that that's to come at the end of the evolutions. So that's really, really interesting to me. I'm excited that we did get this Rec League announced yesterday. It looks really awesome. We can dive into that. But I think for the heavy metal timeline, it's nice to know that, okay, cool. Inway is doing their own thing, and we still have loads of experiences to come for the heavies.
that's for sure. Definitely. I do think that initially the plan, when if we go back to the roadmap, this blockchain game and the announcement from Enway and Animoca at the time, it was clear that it was a BAYC game. So to me, this was supposed to be heavy metal, what we know now as heavy metal.
Right.
But I think at the time, it was late 2021, then there was this big, massive, ambitious project called Otherside, which is now the epicenter of everything, of the Yuga offering, basically. And I do think now that at some point, the project, the Enway game, went to a different route, and the heavy on another. But that's why I do think the final game for the heavy, at least the one that will be persistent, I do expect PvP, I do expect the arena, all the hints that we got. But I do think it will take place on the other side. It has to make sense. And
So okay, so you're saying arena is going to be located within Otherside somewhere, and
that
we'll
would
be
make,
able to show up with our heavies and fight them.
of course, that will make absolute sense. Technically, it can obviously be super odd. We don't know how it would work. Basically, would we need to have the persistent other side 24/7 live before, or it could be something on the side like powered by other side? I don't know, but I think we are very close, and I do expect to have the info in Hong Kong during Ape Fest. But I think we are very close to the day when everything will click together, because it's going. We have Legend of the. We have a lot of storylines. We have a lot of things, and if you think about it, even with Jimmy the Monkey, we don't know much. The
Right.
story is kind of, we have weird pieces here and there, but I do expect something to click, and the wow moment, and we'll be there like, oh, okay, now I get it. I see the bigger plan. And I think this is something that we really need, especially since now we know for sure that heavy metals are not related to the Enway game. So now we lack this bigger picture for heavy metal that justify the grind, that justify the upgrade, that justify spending ApeCoin to get like boosts and potentially have better amps that will give us more power, more whatever else or anything, strength. But before, when we thought about all of this, it was clear that, oh yeah, because we need to have the best mechas to play on the Enway game. But now we don't know. And of
Yeah.
course, the other side thing, it can only be after Evo 3 unless it's a 2D game. I don't see Yuga spending hundreds and hundreds of hours modeling, 3D modeling Evo 1s, then Evo 2s, then Evo 3s. It would make no sense.
Okay, well that brings up another point as well that I think is kind of interesting. I forget who talked about it, but there was some discussion early on about how do you make the heavy metals a little more engaging by not making them 3D themselves, but like doing some things with inside the game to make them feel more 3D. And so like we kind of see that already, like with the orientation that they're in, it allows for them to be flipped on top of each other, or just to have their image mirrored to kind of show directional movement. And then there's also some shadowing that they do as well within Forge, which helps with the feel that it's a 2D drawing, but it gives it a 3D feel to the heavy metal. So I will be interested to see if we get 3D models inside some sort of game relatively soon for heavies or not, because I feel like it's been such a long time coming for the Bored Ape 3D models that unless if they just have like a whole nother dedicated team cranking out 3D models for heavy metals, I feel like that would be maybe on a little bit longer of a timeline, just
Yeah.
given how much art went into the heavy metal collection, all the different heavy types, all the different weapon combos, faceplate,
Massive.
headplate. What I mean, there's just so much. There's so much depth to that collection that like I can't even imagine 3D modeling that.
Definitely, definitely. And it's way harder than actually modeling the apes because of the way pieces are actually going together. In 2D, it's way different.
Yeah.
It's a good point that you said, because basically, if you see them as 2D sprites, and you can think about old video games like PS1 RPG, which was like isometric 3D, which wasn't real 3D, it was basically 2D sprites that you could see from different angles, and
Right.
it would give you the feeling of actually fake 3D when the character will rotate. This could be a thing. And it could also be, the end game could be like an arcade game, arcade fighting game, because in the end, the arcade machine has always been there,
Yeah.
mutant,
Yeah.
for the mutants and stuff. And we see also arcade machines on the Ape Fest poster.
Yeah. There was quite a
So,
few on that poster that were showing. Let me see if I bring it up real quick. There was quite a few different machines. I think it was not only the. What else was it? Of course, you can't see it from the Ape Fest website. Either way, though, there was definitely multiple arcade machines. The arena one on the Ape Fest poster said out of order. There was also, I think, one related to the Mutant game that happened around Mint, and then there was Dookie
yes.
Dash, and then something else. So, um, yeah, it would not surprise me if it has some definite kind of like arcade feel to the game. It seems like that is the vibe that they keep throwing out there. It would be cool if there was like an arcade machine at this year's Ape Fest where you could like go and actually play IRL, your heavy versus somebody else's heavy, and you're standing right next to them. That would be
Oh
nuts.
man, don't hype me like that.
I know. I don't. I don't want. I hate
Of
setting
course,
expectations. I don't like to get too much into it. But like, yo,
it's fun.
that would be cool. That would be something
Yeah,
else.
yeah, and I do like what actually they announced last night. 10KTF, now Hv-MTL is a parent company. But if you craft something with your heavy on it and you send it to combat for next week mission, you actually get a bonus within the forge. And I
Yeah,
like where they are going with that, giving perks from one game to another. It's some kind of interoperability also, and that's super cool.
it's really great to see the different business lines that they have crossing in this way. Be especially since it's extremely, well, I don't want to say it's extremely easy. I don't know how their claim process manages all of these things to determine if a heavy metal has been crafted onto an object, whether or not they have I don't know what I'm trying to say other than it could be easy for them because it's just a software update. It could be technically difficult in order to like make it automated for all of the heavy metals that go in and craft and then launch into the mission. I don't know all the back end of that stuff, but I like to see that it's playing together between 10 KTF, heavy metals, getting the boost packs. I think that's a great addition. It helps them as well, kind of get a couple more pieces crafted, because I mean it's no cheap task to craft a heavy metal onto a season one, or not a season one. What are they called? S1. Is
Oh,
it
you mean the
S1?
Evo one? Oh,
Yeah,
are you talking about
the
side?
items in the shop for 10 KTF.
Yeah, it's like I call them the regular ones, and then there is the combat. So I
Right.
don't know if it's
So
the
crafting onto the regulars, I think it costs 20 ape coin or 40 maybe.
28 points.
20 ape coin. So not too bad when ape
Blank of
coin's $2, but when ape coin was like $6, it was like, whew,
for sure.
a
Yeah.
hefty price to pay to craft your PFP onto a original 10 KTF item.
And it's funny because a lot of parents' collection actually have floor price that is below most of the items, most of the blanks.
Wait, say
This
that
is
again?
also, there is a lot of parent collections on 10 KTF that has
Oh,
a floor price lower than the blank to craft something for 10 KTF also.
yes, that is true. You're talking about the if you just go in and you look at the different, like, so we have Oni Force and Cryptodes and Ranga and all them. So you're saying those items have floor prices less than the blanks themselves. Then on top of that, you have to go and pay an additional 20 ape coin to put it on an original piece of
Yeah.
10 KTF store items. I mean, yeah, it definitely 10 KTF is an interesting one for me because I
Okay.
like the storyline building and all of that stuff, but I get lost in the sauce so easily on the speculation aspect of like, is this worth it? I don't know, right? Because you get points based on the rarity, you get points based on joining different missions and joining the right mission and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they did the ApeCoin claim at one point. I imagine they will have some other kind of claim in the future as well. But it looks like we're getting tea leaves this time, and then potentially some popcorn in 10 KTF. There's a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipe for 10 KTF.
That's what I love because we never know. Like 2 weeks ago, it was like, oh, so you will get popcorns. 2 days after the mission ends, we check our inventory. We have tea leaves. What the hell? And that's what I love because there is we don't know, and there is this storytelling, and what I love also is they introduced the weekly, the weekly meeting time.
Yep.
Every week, I think it's 6 p.m. East. There is some news. You know that every week there is some news at the
And
same
there's
time.
always some sort of high quality clip that they've created, which is just
Yeah,
it's by far the most mind blowing, like just visually appealing clips that we get from any other project, right? They do it the best. So
yeah, super high quality. Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. And there's just different art styles as well. We have this 2D sketches of Wind Moon, then we have the 3D videos, and then I don't know. It's just always high quality stuff coming from 10 KTF, which yeah, it makes it interesting to come together on a Thursday or whatever time it is for you over in Europe. But Thursday evenings in the U.S., you get a little dose of 10 KTF, build upon the story a little bit. Potentially send your PFP with with the items that you've crafted off into a mission, and then, you know, bring back some tea leaves, bring back some different colored popcorn or something. I don't know what they were talking about there recently, but there was something saying, you know, there's going to be different
Oh yeah,
types of popcorn for the, I guess,
for
enhancing whatever your PFP is going to be coming from 10 KTF.
yeah, exactly, for the G tags. And
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a super interesting mechanics there, because they said that there will be 7 types. I think that's what they said yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and different types of popcorn. So I could see like some kind of recipe that will determine the traits of your PFP or something. But I'm very curious about that, and I can't wait to see more.
I know. Yeah, definitely. They keep delivering high quality stuff. And we'll see how it develops as this season 2 kicks off. And we're still just only like what, two Thursdays into it, maybe three.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the today is the third mission. Yeah, third mission. Well, last week there were 3, but I mean the third week.
All right. Let's go ahead. Let's circle back to Rec League. That just launched yesterday. They dropped the trailer. They dropped the gameplay. They dropped all of the information on the allow lists, as well as the free claims for Yuga assets. What's your takeaway? What do you find exciting about this? What do you find, questionable? What do you find? I mean, obviously there were some people complaining about KYC. There's other people saying, you don't got to worry about it if you're claiming something for free, so you don't even have to KYC. But it seems interesting how they're tying this all together. It's going to be mobile. It's going to be on desktop. You got that cross-platform functionality built in. It's yeah. What are
Yeah,
your initial thoughts? How do you feel about it? I'm gonna play the little intro trailer in the background, but
super excited. The trailer is amazing. I guess it's the same studio that released the one from Otherside, who worked on this one. I love the new character. I think it's Cheech. I don't know how you pronounce that. And it's a very dope one, with the flip brim, BAYC flip
yep,
brim.
yep,
It's cool. To me, it's great because we are entering a phase that we all wanted, which was the licensing. To see apes everywhere, and I think it's dope. If you don't talk about mecha and the bit of confusion that you have with EVs and stuff, it's like there is a game launching that has a big ambition to actually be a major title in esport, working with kind of seasons like Fortnite, and the first one is basically with Yuga, and you have special armors inspired by apes, kodas, and stuff. And the holders are actually getting something. We are getting this free claim of these armors with special traits. So this is cool because we could see that anywhere. I would love, maybe, I don't know, maybe in 6 months there will be a golf game and we will be able to play the golf game as our apes. Of course, I'm saying any, shit, but it could be anything. And I think they mentioned the broader Yugaverse or something, kind of
yeah.
a
I mean,
layered
it involves
storytelling.
apes, mutants, dogs,
Dogs
codas.
and dogs. It's interesting because the dog armor will be rarer than the mutant one. Don't forget that there is less than 10k dogs, so it's potentially the rarest one would be the dog one because we still have 10k coda. Of course, not all of them are decoupled, but in terms of number of assets, it's the doggos are basically the smaller collection of them all, and it's
Yeah,
going to be one
that.
per asset.
And so these assets that we're gonna get are, I guess, created in collaboration with Yuga Labs. It's not necessarily using um, our assets IP, right? It's just a Yuga
Exactly.
Labs branded item. So it's not like you have to worry about licensing your asset. But at the end of the day, there is this functionality where if you craft your mechs into different configurations, obviously if you've got the rare Yuga Labs mech pieces, you can come up with different combinations, and then people playing the game can purchase them, and then there's some sort of rev share that goes back to the holder. So if you create a super dope mech using, ultra rare pieces, you stand to potentially get a nice chunk of change coming back your way, which is interesting. It's not exactly how I envisioned the play to earn aspect, but if that's what they think will sell, I'm excited to see it and let it play out.
It's definitely a new take on play to earn, and it's definitely a take that is actually acknowledging that Web3 gaming, there is Web3 gaming and there is Web2 gaming, and at the moment, it's not one. They are still highly, highly separated. This is very interesting to be able to create copies of your mech and then sell them on the non-Web3 version of the game. The only thing that this will require is hype. We need to have a massive Web2 crowd that enjoy the game to the point that they want to buy in-app mechs and stuff to actually have an edge over the opponents. So, but this is super interesting. There is something worth to mention is that the mecha that we claim through our holdings will actually be already fully assembled. It's not going to be one of the 2 boxes that you can mint with different pieces on it. It will be fully assembled, and I think you can't disassemble it. I'm 99% sure that it's
Okay.
written.
Interesting.
So, but for the mint, you will be able to mint 2 type of boxes, one with 10 pieces, so you will be able to actually create a mech out of the way directly, and another one is more like an upgrade, which is 5 pieces. But if you hold, for example, during the Coda mint, if you hold the Coda on the wallet and delegation will work, you will have an increased percentage of chance to grab an increased rarity, basically something rarer than if you didn't have the asset. So yeah, we are getting a lot back to the holders from that, and then we just hope for a successful game, both in Web 2 and Web 3.
Yeah, I think what you touched on there is definitely going to be the challenge. Is how do you draw in all of the eyeballs and all of the excitement to come play the game? It's got to be exciting. It's got to have a presence of gamers that want to play it. And I feel like something that potentially could be borrowed from the model that Pudgy Penguins did when they rolled out their toys on Amazon. They quickly skyrocketed to the top of the sales because they had all of their holders playing the game, purchasing the items, which then made their store trending and then boosted them to the top of the Amazon web store or whatever it was. I feel like I don't have a good understanding of the metrics that are required for a mobile game to reach trending or something like that. But I almost wonder if there is, if you put enough incentives for people to go out and download this game on day one and to play this game on day one, then potentially it just has the ability to grow some legs, right? And then kind of grow organically, which wouldn't even require a lot from Yuga or Animoca.
Yeah, I think we are talking about tens of thousands of downloads, but with the right marketing, and I think Animoca has the power to do that, and the knowledge, and to do a broad Web 2 marketing campaign for the game. I think it's going to be super interesting. And of course, we are all going to connect for the first claim, connect to the game to see the mech that we got. So it will definitely, I think, trending. I would bet on that.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't have the ambition to actually create a massive esport game without a huge marketing push. And it can be with regular Web2 gaming influencers and stuff. And they also said that they are actually making the game in a way that it's good for streaming. I don't really know what that means, but I guess it's in terms of animation maybe and things like that. So it's highly entertaining to even watch a battle.
Right. I'm playing some clips right now in the background, and as you're saying, it's entertaining to watch. I'm just like watching, and they're not even completely fighting. They're just going back and forth, showing the uh, different attacks that can be made against your opponent. And yeah, I can definitely confirm that it's it's enough to pull in your interest, grab your attention. You're definitely. It's got a lot of flashy things. It's got a lot of moving parts, stuff that I feel like is like, especially in the age of TikTok. You gotta
Sure.
you gotta have stuff changing every single like second in order to maintain people's attention nowadays. Which you know it is what it is. But yeah, the gameplay that's playing in the background is definitely flashy. So I could see streaming being much more of an option here for Rec League, as opposed to, we had some of our gamers within the Bored Ape Yacht Club, like Orangey, saying, oh, they were going to stream Forge, and it just isn't. It's
Yeah.
just not a streamable game necessarily. I mean, it's fun to like load in and like show off forges and all that kind of stuff, but it's not, however, the most action-packed thing you could watch. So
On the opposite, I really enjoyed watching Dookie Dash because I was super bad at it. I mean, my learning curve was flat. Even after 2 weeks, I was super, super bad at it. But there was some legend on the French Ape Discord that were actually doing insane scores. And they would stream like in our cheer room, and I would love to watch them. It was so cool. It was so good to watch because when you know how hard it was when it's going super fast, you really enjoy the ability of someone to actually pull that off, like being super
right,
good.
especially when you're like, yo, I would have died like 5 minutes ago. Like the fact that they're still alive and going was insane.
Yeah.
Dookie Dash was, looking back on it. I mean, like I wasn't too great either. I ended up with a night, so I was like ranked 6,000, uh, which I mean that's a lot worse than I thought I was gonna do, but it is what it is. I guess, yeah. Anyways, it was fun. It was a nice. I'm glad it wasn't super long. They did a really nice job of like keeping it short and concentrated, and like, yo, you have this amount of time to try and get through this. I feel like it had that little mid game dip where there was definitely some people that were cooling off with it, maybe not rushing home to play it right away. And you could kind of tell, especially with the prices of the assets, they get a little depressed in the middle. We see it too with heavy metals. Like people are getting a little burnt out. They start trying to floor them. They just want out of the asset at that point. They're like, I just don't want to keep grinding. And then it's like, well, okay, well, you're going to miss seasons 4, 5, and 6. But I mean, if you must, there's the door. But yeah, so it's interesting to watch these games play out. You got the interest that comes and goes, and you kind of just test people's attention span. So let's switch over now and talk a little bit about Otherside. We have Legends of the Morrow, which is supposed to be released sometime this summer, which I was looking the other day. There's like 50 days left of summer. So TikTok, what's going to happen? But we had the test group recap that was released by Otherside. What were your thoughts there? Did anything stick out to you that was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing? Or yeah, just
Well,
what's your takeaway?
first, it was the land. Seeing the clubhouse come to life like this was insane because
Right.
it's this size 5 land, which is absolutely massive, massive, massive. And to me, it looked like a theme park. I just want to go there and go everywhere and explore everything. And I'm sure there will be a lot of Easter eggs everywhere to check. And this is going to be so cool. Seeing the apes 3D models basically was also super good. I just can't wait to just run on the other side as my ape, and with my kennel on the side at some point. That would be just amazing. I wouldn't even play or do anything. I would just run. It would be so
Yep.
cool. But seeing the clubhouse come to life, it's just great. We have been waiting for that for more than a year, and I do expect the third trip to actually take place in that land, and that would make absolute sense to have both apes and voyagers there and have some mission. And it could be also tied to the lore of Wagmi-san or even Jimmy the Monkey. We don't know. It could be tied to anything. And they ended up, I think, with a little trailer about Legend of the Mara.
Yep.
I think it was just a very, very short one with just a little gameplay. But I'm super excited for that. I can't wait to see how it will articulate with the collection, the Friend collection too. I think they are called like that, Friend collection, with
Yeah.
Mutant
Mm-hmm.
Hoons, Me Beats, and even 10KTF is on it. So I do expect some kind of bonus items. I don't think we will be able to use them directly. I don't know, but I do expect some bonus you unlock with this collection, because it would be perfect if we can use them, if they could fill a slot on our lens, because I have tons of empty ones at the moment. But yeah, I'm super excited for that, to see the mechanics and obviously cards. I mean, I'm dying for a cool Web3 card game, something that you can play just on the go, like even 5 minutes. And I do have the feeling that it's gonna be great. The assets are amazing. I mean, just look at the decoupled Coda cards. They look amazing. You can see the level of crafting is great. So that's what I'm most excited about. Yeah. And
I
of course, we saw the teaser for kind of the spaceship, the vehicle. So like Bright commented yesterday on, it was on the before they announced Red Game, and he commented tagging me saying "room room" because he knows that I love to talk about this racing game that is supposed to
yeah.
come out.
Are you talking about the swamp yachts that they put in there, or is there a different vehicle in there that you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the one from Legend of the Mara, the teaser on the blog. I think it was a picture, and it's actually you can see
Oh,
some
oh.
type of flying spaceship with different kind of resource inspired parts visual.
Let me see
Yeah,
if
we
I can
can find
pull
it
that up.
on the news site easily.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like okay, I'm gonna pull up this real quick because I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like at the bottom of one of their updates. Uh-huh. Okay, so it's like a spaceship looking thing. It's got different characteristics of the lands, right? It's got like
Yeah,
different elements from the resources on those lands that have come together to build what looks like some kind of vehicle with some boosters at the bottom there. I couldn't agree more with what you're saying about the card game. The cards themselves look amazing with the codas already being released on a card. In the beginning of the recap, they do show the Maras on a card as well, which I don't know if we're going to get like blank Mara cards that just don't show anything until the game's launched or until they've like revealed traits or whatever. But it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. You mentioned early on that the tier 5 land running around on it looked like an amusement park. And so I had heard somebody say that the actual land itself is 2 square kilometers large. And I was like trying to like visualize that. And so I put in like, okay, how do you visualize what 2 square kilometers is? And it's not the perfect visualization, but it did say 2 square kilometers is the size of the Disneyland park.
oh man, you see an
So,
amusement park.
I mean, if you just think like, okay, I mean, Disneyland's got some ground to cover, which means that there's just going to be so much to explore, so much room to build, so much room to have different events and different different activities of things that could happen with small groups of people, with large groups of people. Um,
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see the game that's coming out first, and then of course I'm excited to, you know, in the future have uh, this sort of call like happen in Otherside, and we just show up and send some people the link, and they can hop into and run around with their avatars. And oh man, the 3D avatar, that by far is my I've been wanting my hands on my 3D avatar for far too
Oh yeah.
long.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be super great. And even after, imagine the codas, also the codas in 3D is running. It's gonna be super cool. And we also saw on the teaser, on the recap. No, it was the recap, not the teaser. We also saw the Gucci trail
That's
behind.
I was just
Like,
going to scrub through the video and find that Gucci trail because I was going to mention that as well. Um,
it's great.
it
I
looks
like it, you know,
fantastic.
with the Gucci logos. I like that.
Hmm. I wasn't sure what to expect for it when they said trail VFX, but like the way that they've done it, it makes perfect sense. Um, which brings me to the question for the 10KTF claim. They recently just had their Gucci claim. Did you end up claiming, or did you have one of the Gucci materials?
I had materials, but I didn't claim because I'm not the kind of customer for this kind of pieces that are to me regular. If it was like regular Gucci pieces with the 10 KTF logo, I would have definitely got the bag or the wallet if it was like a custom one with the parent PFP or with an ape or with my ape or something. But here it's just not the type of items that I use every day. So no, but I did got the Coda pendant, and for the
Yes.
Gucci trail, the funny thing is that basically I was expecting it to be only on the Coda or the Mara with the necklace, but looks like as long as you have one in your wallet, you can use it on your ape. So it's funny. It's like an option uh, that will be turned on the wallet owning one of these Gucci Grail.
Yeah, I liked that aspect. I think the fact that it's locked to the Coda or the Kodamara, and then if you want the trail, like the trail VFX, you don't go and buy that off the store. You have to go and buy an asset that has the pendant, which I feel like is a nice touch. It's adding a level of like stickiness to some of these other NFTs where it's like, oh, like, hey, if you sell your Kodamar with the pendant, like you also lose your trail VFX. So it's like, it's a nice way to put some boundaries on some things to make them locked without saying like, because obviously with the goal of interoperability, you want to be able to take your things wherever you go, but to be able to like have some guidelines and restrictions yeah, I thought it was an interesting take. Um, to your point too about the Gucci bag claim, I'm in the same boat. Not. I wasn't sure what to expect when they dropped the bag and the wallet, but I was holding on to mine to see what it was. Turned out that it was kind of their pattern with like the very subtle 10KTF stamp on the outside of the bag and on the inside of the wallet. Um, Personally, it's not something I vibe with, so I sold I sold my Gucci Grill cloth, but I definitely vibe way more with this Trail VFX. So I like how there's like a little bit of something for everybody. If the whole Gucci bag is your thing, then that was an option, and you got the nice added benefit of like this very clean 10KTF stamp that got applied to the bag. And then if you're more for the the digital aspect or the necklace, then we got that as well. I feel like it's a nice balance.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a sucker for this digital stuff, these digital collectibles. So I would be even more excited if it was like a digital bag, custom bag on 10KTF than a real one. I That's same for the Coda pendant. I will wear it obviously sometime like at events or something like that, but it's not something that I'm excited to wear every day. Just
Right.
a beautiful, I guess, artifact that's kind of a souvenir and stuff. But I'm super excited about, yeah, the pendant, the digital version of it, the bottle. It's super cool.
Yeah, definitely. And it, I, well, the added benefits too is that you get that extra Guccified border for your PFP of your coda and stuff like that. So they definitely did a good job of like throwing in some added extras to make it have that elevated feel. Your playing card is different for the coda as well when you have the Gucci pendant on. So it's nice little upgrades, nice little touches here and there. I do wonder. I mean, it. We got the teaser from 10KTF. I think it was 2 weeks ago, where they talked about codas and some sort of well of creation magic. Was essentially what Blue in that first Otherside trailer was going and grabbing from like the fountain or whatever. So it's interesting because like if that's what's all in these bottles, it kind of like leaves some room to potentially play out some other features for the coda pendants in the future if they've all got a little extra dose of creation magic hidden
Yeah,
within those bottles, which sky's the limit.
could be anything. Could be anything, and I'm sure there will be something there with these bottles. And if I'm not mistaken, when it was released on the press that there will be this collab with Otherside, I think it was mentioned that Gucci will be released 3 drops. So we just got one. I'm not sure that the 10 KTF counts as two because it's on the side and it's, I think, that just the rest of the collab from Gucci grade, the PFP custom. But I do think that we'll have 2 more relics that will come in the future. And I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah, it's always exciting to see these collaborations play out, especially because you don't know exactly what they're going to craft up. Like the Puma collab with 10KTF, and then they drop the shoes and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's it's just bringing the way they tie it all together. I feel like is refreshing, and then they have, well, I guess in some sense the Gucci bag claim was a little bit upsetting to the 10KTF crowd because it didn't have a digital that followed along after the claim, right? So then it would have been interesting if there was like a bag that you could have then put your PFP on after the fact. But
But
I don't know why there
what,
was that discrepancy there, or if they just wanted
what,
to claim the physical and be done.
but what if there is more? I mean, there is nothing official, but a few months ago, once there was an update on the website before the Puma collab, and someone crawled basically the source code and found an asset which was basically a 3D view of the Puma shoes. Then there was a Gucci Grail ape, and there was this rack of clothes which were basically, I think it was polo shirts. You could see one with a cool cat, and you could see one with the Gucci Grail,
Huh.
basically pattern on it. I can find that, and you will display it on the screen.
All right.
But this could be maybe there is something else coming, and I mean it's long time overdue that we need more clothes for 10 KTF, more items, because at the moment there is a lot of collections being added every week, but the supply crunch might become unsustainable at some point.
Yeah,
We will
yeah,
need
for
to have
sure.
more. Especially Figgy, if you hear me, you need to value more full sets. At the moment, when you have like, for example, my ape, I have almost only commons items for it. So if I use the matching option and the bonus, it's not even worth it. I need to swap to like an epic that is not my from my parent, and I'm getting more points. But I'm too sentimental, so I just keep everything matching, and I lose some points. And I think it would be cool to reward more the full set because I mean, it's our forever apes or forever coda or whatever that we use as a parent. So if we're incentivized more to have the full set matching, it will also remove from secondary, from marketplaces, a lot of items.
Yeah,
That's just
that's definitely a good point there. Because if you go and you look at like the secondary for the 10KTF collection, it's like a wasteland of like forgotten PFPs that people just crafted, maybe didn't want, maybe don't have anymore. And so it's a nice option, but I feel like uh, I feel like the preferred route is for people to come in and purchase a blank and put their own PFP on it. which I mean, I know that there are points in time, right, where these end up being recyclable. So there's that benefit as well,
You
to
can
kind
you
of
can
give them a new home. But
you can recycle already the original ones. You can't recycle the combat items yet, but you can
okay,
recycle the original one. So, for example, today it's cheaper to buy crafted socks than recycle them and then craft them again with your ape or with your PFP. It's cheaper to do that. I think it's the same for bags, but bags or shoes, but for the other.
so if you recycle, you're paying ApeCoin again as well, right?
Yeah, I think isn't it like 10 ape coins to recycle? I did it very recently, but I can't remember. I think it was 10.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not too familiar, but that's definitely something I might have to look into because I was looking at the blanks and I was like, man, I don't want to go drop more ETH on blanks to craft like to put like heavy metals on. I was like, just not something I'm looking to do right now. Um,
I just
yeah.
crafted a bag with River. It's a common one. I was able to do like, I think it was a rare one with another one, but I'm just a sucker for that. I just craft stuff for the items that I keep forever. Yeah, I'm too sentimental for
I know, right? I
that.
mean, it's literally just going into diamond hands at that point, for all these people that are really attached to their items. Um, we're approaching an hour here. Let's go ahead and close it out with a little bit of talk on Ape Fest. I saw that you claimed your ticket, so I guess we will be seeing each other again in at Ape Fest 3, which is going to be so exciting. Have you been to Hong Kong before? Is it going to be your first
Never.
time? And what are you looking forward to for Ape Fest Hong Kong?
Yeah, it's gonna be my first time in Asia, basically, and
Okay.
I'm looking forward basically to meet everyone again. It's gonna be amazing. I can't wait to see what they have in store for us. I do like the concept of like one ticket for the 3 days and not like different nights. To me, it's not like a music festival. It's more like I don't know, like maybe treasure hunts, like arcades or things like that. So I'm super excited for that, and I will have some things very special also that I will announce soon, and that will be launched at Ape Fest. I can't wait.
Launching something at Ape Fest. Is this having to do with your Apes IP?
Probably,
All right, all right. I mean, yeah, we did. When is it gonna get made by apes stamped as well? I assume.
probably.
All right, all right. Um, yeah, I feel like Ape Fest Hong Kong is a very interesting move to move it globally. I feel like for everyone that hasn't been in the U.S. For the other two Ape Fests, like it's I guess a sigh of relief that they don't have to make the long trek all the way over. How far is Hong Kong from you currently?
I think it's the same distance than Vegas, maybe.
Oh shoot! So
I
yeah,
think,
you're still traveling far either way. Dang.
yeah, it's the same to me. I'm in the middle, so it's the same to me. It's just that the time difference is actually on the other way around.
Got you. Okay, okay. Um, but yeah, I like that they've pushed it global, but they've also come in with like this virtual aspect, and then as well as like doing some other. I think they said they're going to do some meetups in key locations um, during the time of Ape Fest as well. So not only will we have the Fuck It Saturday Mutant event coming up soon in Miami, then we have like the kind of satellite events for people that aren't going to be at Ape Fest Hong Kong, plus the added virtual aspect. I think somebody said they heard or saw something like a Hong Kong skyline in the background of the. Um,
Jeff video. Yeah, the heavy metal with Jeff
is
on
that
it.
is
Like
that the
the
Hong Kong skyline back there
Yeah, actually, it was in front of our eyes
the
for
entire
months.
time? Hold
Yeah,
up.
and that's
Hold up.
because yeah, it's crazy. It was there. People were so focused on the arena that but it was there. I don't know the Hong Kong skyline, so I couldn't haven't figured it out. But that's super fun. So that's why I definitely expect Hong Kong to be like yeah, I think we'll have some news on heavy metal there, some announcement, and we can even see heavy metals on the poster.
Wait a second.
So
So you're saying in the
yeah,
stream video that is the Hong
the
Kong
profile, yeah,
skyline?
yeah. In the background, you see the
How
heavy metal
did?
arena.
Yeah, I see Heavy Metal Arena, and then
Well, it's Hong Kong.
oh, it sure is. It sure
It's
is.
crazy.
Look at that. I mean, talk about Easter eggs all over the place. Wow. Yeah, I wasn't familiar with the Hong Kong skyline. You know, if there was something like Singapore and they put like Marina Bay Sands, the big boat building in the background, it would have been like a dead giveaway. But like the Hong Kong skyline, huh? Yeah, that's all right. Cool. That's been
Yeah,
out since 2 months ago. So I mean, who knew? We didn't need to be asking when Ape Fest all this time. We just or where Ape Fest, but it was just hiding right there. I do like though that there's Heavy Metal Arena, okay, on the skyline as well with the Hong Kong skyline, plus the added benefit of like the arcade machines saying, uh, out of order for the arena game. It's all coming together. The pieces, they're aligning. You love to see it.
yeah, it's gonna be amazing, and I'm sure that there is a lot of things in front of our eyes right now that we don't even see or guess or whatever, and it will all make sense in a few weeks or months.
Yeah, always super exciting. Well, Dim, I appreciate you coming on and having a chat about all things within the Board Ape Yacht Club. There's so much stuff coming across all of the different avenues that Yuga Labs is, just full steam ahead on, and it's super exciting. Any last words to close us out?
Well, it's been a pleasure, anytime, and I'm super excited about basically everything that is coming our way. Legend of the Mara, and as I said, I just think that we are very close to a click moment where we see, okay, everything is actually going together perfectly, and now we can just sit back, relax, enjoy, play, and chill, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, all right, that's all I got for today. Let's we need to do this again sometime because I'm sure we're gonna have something in a couple months, and we'll have a whole new slew of things to talk about.
For sure. Cheers. See you
Cheers.
next time.
See ya.